And the slide, how do I go down with the slides?
Just click the arrow keys. Right, left arrow key.
Sorry?
Right, left arrow keys.
Oh, right, left arrow keys. Ah, yes, correct.
We are live.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to another College Duniya Connect episode. Today we have Dr. Supriyo Guharoy, and I'll not waste your time and directly ask Dr. Supriyo to continue with his presentation. Dr. Supriyo, sir, please.
Thank you, Shubham, and thank you, College Duniya, for giving us this opportunity to interact with the student community and talk to them what is the career option available in the post-COVID world for aspirants for law program. So before we get into the topic and directly address the students about the opportunities in the law program, I thought it would be relevant to briefly talk about Presidency University, and then we get onto the topic thereafter. So, my dear students and some parents who are there in the webinar, welcome. And I'm Supriyo Guharoy, Director for Presidency University. Welcome to this presentation. Let me start that Presidency University is a young university located in Bangalore, just about 5 year old, but made a very special place for itself because of the rigorous programs that we offer for our students, the campus life, the placement opportunity that students get once they pass out of the university. In the next few slides, I'll be familiarizing yourselves with what we do in the university. So first, let's have a quick look at the group, which has promoted the university. It is known as a Presidency Group of Institutions, pretty well known all over Karnataka. And we have at present in the group 7 schools, 4 junior colleges, 1 undergraduate and postgraduate college, and Presidency University. Close to about 26,000 students and 3,100 staff members. So as one can see that it's a pretty large group, 45 years into the education domain. It's a state university. Presidency University is a state university established under Karnataka Act, right? And as we go forward, you will see the logo. I'll just spend a few seconds on the logo. The logo itself very aptly captures, what we do. You can see there is an open book and birds flying out of the book. And that's what we do in our group of institutions, including the university, where we take the young minds, we nurture them, we prepare them for the larger world, and we give them the wings to fly around in any part of the globe and make a mark. So then I move, with the vision. The vision for the university is that it is going to be a global university, and it is going to create professionals with integrity and character. I move to the missions. The missions are multifold, but primarily, we have set up an inclusive institution which is innovative at the same time. We give our focus and emphasis on research and development. We have created an interdisciplinary environment where the students can, freely interact with each other and develop new ideas, new concepts, etc. And finally, we are globally integrated. We have globally applicable skill sets imparted into the mind of the students. Here you can see, how the university has grown. This is our year-on-year enrollment. So it started very modestly with about 600 students way back in 2015. And today, every year, we are enrolling close to about 4,000 students, with a total strength of the university reached beyond 9,000 as on date. This is the front portion when the students enter into the university. This is a very welcoming environment with a big arch with Presidency University written on top of it. And as you enter, you see that there is a there is a rotunda, where the students come in, and then, they get split and start entering into the various schools that university boasts of. University today has an engineering school, we have a business school, we have a law school, we have a design school, and we have also set up a school of commerce. So on the left side of the slide, you can see which is our auditorium, which is a large auditorium. We have a large cafeteria next to the auditorium. So it offers a very enriched life for all the students on the campus. Again, few photographs. As you can see, as you come in front of the rotunda, there is a canopy, again, an arch-like structure, which actually goes to the administrative office. And there is a distance view of that as well. And on your left, you can see our library building, and next to the library building is our business school. And there is a lot of open space, almost 60-65% open space, where the students can sit, discuss, exchange ideas, etc., etc. Again, few more photographs, including the one of the cafeteria and administrative building. This is the library, which is really a meeting place for innovative minds. Classroom on the left is the classroom for the engineering block. On the right, it is the classroom for the business school. And then here are a few examples of the other infrastructure, including the laboratories, the machine shop, the computer lab. We have the language lab here. All the facilities. This is the moot court, which is ideally required for all the students joining the LLB program. So it's a large moot court with a capacity of about 100 plus. Participants can sit there as observers, and then you can see the days where the judges sit, and of course you have the councils on both sides. Okay, then you have the various practice spaces. This is largely used for the design and the engineering students. Coming to the convocation, we had our first convocation held in 2018, when after 3 years a batch of students passed out, and very eminent personalities come over from Karnataka as well as from other parts of the country, and give a piece of their valuable mind to the students and share with them what is in store for them as they walk into their practical as well as their professional life. Here in this picture, we have the Chancellor as well as a very eminent scientist, Dr. Kiran Kumar, who has headed the chairman of ISRO, ex-chairman of ISRO, who came and talked to the students in 2019. This is encapsulating the environment of the university, 9,000 plus students, 6 schools, 39 programs. We have more than 400 faculties, and interestingly, in keeping with our goal of ensuring a level playing field for a large number of students, the university has a large outlay. More than 35 crores worth of scholarships have been doled out to the eligible students over the last 3 or 4 years. Coming back to the academics, I will just quickly run through, of course, because we'll be discussing more specifically about the LLB program of the university, but university gives emphasis on a continuous assessment, which is very, very critical for us, because we don't believe that the students need to be taken through end semester examination and they will be asked to regurgitate or represent some of the things they have marked up during the semester. So we have a continuous assessment system where the students are constantly debating, they're sharing their ideas, they're making presentations, they're doing projects, and they're being evaluated on a continuous basis. There is a lot of emphasis on this continuous assessment. We give opportunity for the students to practice the professional skills while studying, because this is very, very important. It's not the book knowledge that matters in the industry and in the area of work today. So the students go out and do professional and practices with the corporates and with the law firm. Then we have various. I'll continue with the presentation. I'll continue with the presentation, and then we also have various other programs like social, rural, environmental engagement, and finally the students are given special classes. The students who are not strong in terms of their pick up of the subject, or on some subjects they have not been able to do well, we give them an opportunity to do a summer term and make up examinations. This is just the grading system. As you can see that it's a very standardized grading system, and we follow what is known as a central grade point average, or CGPA. Okay, so all the semester-wise grade point averages are put together, and in the final result, the CGPA appears. And on the right, you can see the scoring table. These are some of the facilities for the university. We have the hostel facility, which is separate for the boys and the girls. They're very modern. In fact, I must call them ultra modern facility. And then we have, an excellent transport system for the students who come from the different parts of the city. The students who come from outstation, they prefer to live in our hostels. The students who come from around the city, from the different parts of the city, we have excellent transport facility for them. They come in the morning and they go back in the evening. And then you see the cafeteria over here, and you have other meeting points, and the sports facility for the university, which is also pretty well developed. We have the team for the university. And we have also a lot of clubs and committees. Cultural activities are norm of the day. So we have various clubs for photography and art. We have theater, cultural, yoga and meditation, etc. So that's in a nutshell captures the student life on the campus. And also it's very important, particularly for the students who will be studying law. We have a very elaborate system and policies which takes care of issues like ragging or sexual harassment, or even the grievances, raised by the students. So the committees look into these and mete out, or dole out free and fair treatment to each and every student. So that's in a nutshell about Presidency University. Meanwhile, I have the pleasure of welcoming Dr. Rajan Varghese, who is the director and dean for the law school. A very, very experienced professional, and it's a pleasure that I have him here today in the panel, and I will be able to discuss with him some of the aspects of the opportunities that is offered in the law program, particularly in the post-COVID world. Welcome, Dr. Varghese. Sir, you are in a muted. Right now, you are muted. You have to put your speaker on.
Yes. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
I hope you can hear.
Yes, you are. You are audible.
Yes. Thank you very much.
I would begin by. Yeah, you can take your time in putting your earphone. Yeah. So.
Thank you very much, sir, for the nice words and introducing the university. Of course, I'm though new to the environment, I'm not new to the legal fraternity. So I think this is an opportunity for us to discuss the various aspects that we are offering in the law school, and of course, particularly in the post-COVID scenario, what we are trying to achieve. So I think we'll discuss about all this depending upon your, maybe you can raise some issues and we'll try to, solve it together.
Yes, sir. So I will start asking your opinion about how do you think that COVID has affected, the education environment in the country in general and law programs in particular?
Generally speaking, education is slightly affected in the sense online courses are going on wherever possible, even at the remotest corner, we are able to reach. Second thing is particularly relating to law. And most of the universities and colleges they have started the classes in the sense online. Everything is done online, but there is again a problem. That problem is relating to the time that the student can spend in front of a computer or a laptop or a telephone, mobile phone, or whatever. Because there is a stress which is felt by the students. You can't force them to sit for 5 hours or 6 hours in front of a computer and study. That is also a problem. So what we can do is, within the limited time available, try to impart maximum skills that they would require. So there is overall the education quality, though not affected, but maybe you can say 100% achievement is not possible. Now again, another thing, due to
The point is,
sir, one more,
well taken, sir.
yeah, due to the COVID, first year admission for law is becoming a problem, because first year LLB, many of the students have got their certificates and plus two marks and everything with them, but most of them will be waiting for national entrance test to be completed. Now, because of this, in some of the universities, they have started. First year class has started already because they have the results and the admissions are over. But in such cases, what happens is they are not allowing the all the students the opportunity to take a kind of experimentation with other universities also. But we have admitted a lot of students now. They have decided that they will join the university with a determination, and I know that none of them are going to go, except in the case of some national law school, somebody. That's all. Otherwise, that will be very limited also. Now, we have already started the preparation for commencement of the course now. So we will be starting a kind of bridge course, because there is a kind of academic difference. So far, they have been in a school, but the plus two environment is over with that. But we are beginning a new era of learning. In the sense, here the approach will not be like teaching, giving notes, because our idea is to make them capable lawyers at the end of the 5 year study here. So what we will try to impart is, more importantly, the skills required for a lawyer. So the primary objective of any graduate law course, LLB, either integrated or non-integrated 3 year course, idea is to create or make excellent lawyers. So who are practice ready lawyers, I may call. Once you get the degree from the college, step out of the college and they should be in a position to start practice. Nowadays, what I experience is that some of the colleges or some of the students, it is not because of the college, students take it very lightly, thinking that, okay, at the last moment you can study something like maybe what they have done in some other schools. This is not possible. I think every student has to understand this aspect very well. Why? Because we cannot postpone the study, especially the critically analytical kind of an approach to law cannot be done overnight. It has to be done on a steady basis. Gradually, they have to develop all these kind of things. We have to take care, and that we are prepared to take care also. And again, another aspect which we are going to be focusing on is language course. Now, in most of the colleges, including some of the universities, they offer English as English, which English they have already studied. I'm not going to do that. Now, I'm particularly titling the English course one. There will be two courses. Course one is the English for law and lawyers, because there is a lot of jargons that we use, and there are typical styles of writing. For example, if you take a statute, you will find expression like starting sentence of a section may be, notwithstanding anything contained in any other provision. How do you start a sentence with like this? Why it is? Similarly, if you look at some documents legal documents, transfer documents and all that. Whereas that is the starting point. So why do you do this? And why? And where it started? So we have to examine this. And is it necessary? Can't you write that I and you agree to do something? These kind of things which will have to be invariably discussed in the class. And the second paper will focus on another aspect, because whether it is COVID or no COVID, we will be doing all this. Second aspect is we have to do a course on critical thinking. Critical thinking basically is questioning whatever is available. They should develop an ability to critically look at anything. Otherwise, as a lawyer, they will be a miserable failures. In the sense, a judge has given you a judgment. You will read the judgment and say that, oh yes, a learned judge has given the judgment. I am happy and I am sad. That's it. Happy person will be happy, but the sad person cannot be sad forever. He has to examine why I am losing now. How can I find some loophole from the judgment to take it up before an appellate court? So I'll give you a very classical example now, very recent. Our Prashant Bhushan was found guilty and the court gave him a fine of 1 rupee. He said, I will pay the fine, but I will challenge it. So how can he challenge it? Because the Supreme Court, two, three judges, and one of the best judges gave the verdict, 1 rupee fine. He said, I will challenge it. So how can you challenge it? We have empty number of cases where this has happened. Wherever an appeal is taken, whether it is on a question of fact in certain cases, whether it is a question of law in many cases, wherever it is going to the Supreme Court also, you will find a lot of cases where the question of law is examined. So a lawyer should be competent to read something and find out where you can find a solution somewhere. This is my idea is to give cases. Maybe even we'll show movies to the students and ask them to critically examine it and how they will maybe reshoot the film with a different view. That kind of a critical approach. This is what I mean by critical thinking course. This will be mostly a practical course. So I have to get the students trained for this. Now, since it is a first year attempt, first year students, they will be much enthusiastic about it. Once you get into the stream, it's very easy for them. Once you learn things in a systematic way, there is no question of reading or studying anything on the previous day of the examination. So basically, our approach is to enable students to learn even during the COVID, one thing. Second, after the COVID, they will be in the campus. We will be getting ample opportunity to interact with the students, and they will be able to physically interact with other students and take this theoretical approach forward in a very practical manner also. Of course, a little bit of interruptions are there now. We can't dispute it.
Okay, sir. Very nice to hear how you are planning to take the program forward. As one of the founding members of National Law School in Bangalore, you have been witnessing how the law curriculum has been emerging in our country. There was a point of time law used to be a very I would say hard and not so quote unquote not so interesting subject. Only a few set of people used to take it up. And I can very clearly see that you are planning the curriculum in a manner that it not only becomes interesting, it also becomes, where the students will be thinking critically. There will be a lot of application of real life examples. And, law also supposed to be a program which is oriented towards practical application, real life and practical application. So my point is that today a new law school like the one we have in Presidency University, how does it compare in terms its pedagogy as well as the curriculum with the the globally known schools that we have presently in our country?
Yes, sir. I would like to answer with an example. I think the best example is that of mobile phones. Maybe when I was in the National Law School,
Yes, sir.
my cousin had a mobile phone, which was at least 9-inch long, 5-6 centimeter wide, and 10 centimeter thickness. So where are we now? We can put, and the phone used to jet out of his pocket. Now, manufacturers thought about the possibility, application, utility, everything was considered. They started remolding the physical structure and the what you call efficiency of calling. And now, at the time, the call was actually outgoing was 15 rupees per minute or so. Incoming was also 15 rupees. Now where are we? Now people are competing. If you buy my connection, your outgoing is totally free. Incoming is maybe something. We have reached that situation, and the size has come substantially reduced. It can be now on the phone. So sorry, now on the watch. So that kind of development has come. Now, I have heard Professor Madhav Menon, who was the founder, vice chancellor, director of the National Law School, saying that if I had to draft the LLB course today, I would have done it totally different. I would not have gone with the old position. Now, what happened in this country is a model was available. Nobody was willing to deviate from that model. Everybody is sticking on to some particular position which is comfortable. It is otherwise we can use a normal term called comfortable zone. Everybody's comfort zone is there. We are accustomed to that. Now, my idea is not this comfort zone. What is needed today? Now, if you look at the phones, old phones, Motorola, Nokia, all those things have now been taken over by some other companies. If you are not developing, you will not have any value in the society. Like cars, because where is the ambassador car? Not budging. You have to change. The change is, if one person is opening the roof of the car, all the companies will open the roof. So if somebody talks to the car to start and drive, you have to do. The competition is such that we have to be running ahead of the time. We have to anticipate. Now, at that time, Professor Madhav Menon wanted to have lawyers to practice. Now the requirement is, now we have opened up the borders. It is an international affair now. An Indian lawyer cannot confine to CPC, CRPC and sit in a lower court and finish off the activity. No, we have to deal with external laws outside India. People are willing to come to India. We have to gear. If we are not doing that, our knowledge domain has to expand. We cannot say, but of course, definitely we have to teach Indian law, because others will consult. What is the Indian law regarding such and such a thing? If I come and invest, what are the difficulties here? Everybody is worried about that only. How can I overcome the difficulty? If a lawyer in India is unable to give the advice, then lawyer has no stand. An English lawyer will come and say that I will tell you the Indian law. That should not happen. So we will have to be experts in Indian law. At the same time, we should understand what is the requirement outside India. We are talking about international trade, globalization. What is this globalization if we do not know about the other jurisdictions and their laws? So we have to gear to that. So my idea is, over a period of time, we have to develop into an internationally or globally acceptable legal education standards. That is what I'm thinking of. And this is the requirement of the present day. If it is not done, legal education will not be a useful exercise at all. We have to change. So So
Right.
that is my idea.
Right, sir. So you are saying that the curriculum needs to emerge, and today even the new universities are adopting the
Yeah.
newer forms of curriculum and updating it constantly to
Yes.
make it relevant with the changing times.
Yes.
So that's very good to know. And I would, on a relevant note, I would like to know how the information technology is being integrated into the law curriculum. So that because today, everything that we see around is driven. One of the underlying driving force is the information technology,
Oh, yes.
and we also know the way topics like cyber law, etc., is gaining currency, gaining importance today. So, what are your plans for Presidency University to integrate information technology and also cyber-related laws into the curriculum?
Yes, sir. That I'll tell you. Now we are applying the technology in our teaching because we are teaching from homes. We are sitting. Some people are here in the campus also, but we are reaching the students on time as per the schedule. How is it possible? It's only because of the technology. We are making 100% use of the technology. One thing. Second thing is we are in a position to access information from any corner of the world, including library materials. Online resources are there, ebooks are available. At the click of a mouse, you will get it. Make use of it. And there should be an opportunity for the students to use it. If we confine to classroom teachers teaching alone, we will not achieve it. We have to make them exercise. Hands-on experience is required. Otherwise, we'll simply say that I can click on and get some information on Google. Wikipedia will give you this information which the teacher is. So teachers are also supposed to be, accessing information and knowledge from outside. They can use the technology for any extent. The third aspect is we can get expertise. Suppose we are here in India, we can get in touch with a foreign university teacher or a professor there to interact with us. So this will be a very good exercise for the students. They will take it seriously also. So since the university has got collaborations with other universities, maybe different jurisdictions. So maybe it can be from the eastern side, the western side, any side we can go. So we will have to establish that kind of an association with the support of the university, because we will get information, we will get expertise, advice, and curriculum development. Everything has to come. And my idea about curriculum development is that it should be every year every year you have to look into what has happened in the world. If you have to incorporate it, definitely it should be. There are cases, umpteen number of cases decided by the Supreme Court and given the law in this country. How many of us are aware of this? So the students will have to be made aware of, and they should be asked to read, understand, critically analyze, then again understand, relearn, unlearn and relearn, relearn. All these things must be done. So this is what the technology, and of course, part and parcel of the curriculum will be cyber laws, and it is expanding. The problems created by the technology is also expanding, but good things are there. Similarly, bad things are also there. So we have to show. And of course, if there is a specialized course on cyber forensics, I'll be very happy to start a course on criminal law and introduce cyber forensics as one of the papers in LLM level, not LLB level. LLB level, we'll teach them the cyber laws and what are the various abuses and crimes committed in the cyber world. That's it.
Yeah, that's very nice to know. So, therefore, you have a clear focus on introducing new programs, be it
Yes,
cyber law or cyber forensics,
yes,
because today, as we see, this kind of fraudulent activities using, technology is also on the rise, and therefore, we need to have a set of lawyers who can very effectively and knowledgeably deal with such issues. So good to
Yes,
know
yes,
about your
exactly.
plan. I would also like to ask, sir, that there was a point of time. In fact, when I was young, I was actually thinking about building my own career. And not only me, my friends, everybody. The only concept used to be that either I'll become a doctor or an engineer. So today the
Yes.
time has very substantially changed. So I would, like to change. I mean, ask from you that the youngsters who are now thinking of becoming a law student and then ultimately have law as a profession, law as a career. What is your advice to them, and what direction their careers should move?
Sir, what you said is 100% true. Even when I went for law, the main trend was to join medicines, engineering, and some other course. Law was the least preferred course. Why? Because it used to be a kind of employment or job or a profession, though it is supposed to be a noble profession. It used to be not a financially lucrative or sometimes viable also, not that kind of a profession. So people hesitated. Now, to some extent, lawyers during those times, lawyers are to be blamed. Then, then the National Law School experiment started. 1988 onwards, the steps were taken. And the approach Dr. Madhav Menon adopted was that we are going to create lawyers who are going to be practicing lawyers. That was his main, you can say, to use a modern expression, program outcome was to produce lawyers, nothing else. He didn't want any corporate employee to be created. You can be a corporate lawyer, you can be a criminal lawyer, civil lawyer. Yes, go ahead. But his idea was to produce lawyers. But of course, 50% was successful. Then this first batch, I can say it is only because of the first, second, third batches. And of course, subsequent batches picked up, no doubt about it. But the name came that National Law School is coming out with such an experiment, caught up like wildfire. So every university started 5 year, copied whatever was given in National Law School, but the main the attribute of bringing this to a very high level is only because of the students, their commitments. It is not because of the teachers. It is not because of the name National Law School or any law school. But the students were committed. They were determined. Yes, this is what I want to. So the commitment even today is required. If the institution and this profession has to develop individual effort, concentrated effort, study from day one, everything is required. Like medicine, you have to understand the basics of human relationship. If a medical expert is trying to find out the nitty-gritty of the human body, we have to understand so many things, right from the society's view, maybe your religion, maybe your body, whether it is the sex, body, male, female. Now the modern third gender is also coming up. We have to understand the nitty-gritty of all this societal inputs, because law is so integrated with the society. As Roscoe Pound said, sociology is very important because law is an instrument of social change. In certain cases, you will find this that law is following the society, like marriage laws. The society has identified some peculiar methods, so we have incorporated into law. Other than that, most of the social developments have taken place because of the changes in the law, or new law is introduced, all those kind of things. Now, what happens is the profession becomes so strong because of the participants in the profession, like judges. Supreme Court, in inverted commas, is not Supreme Court because of the building there. It is because of the persons who are occupying the Supreme Court, who are sitting on the chair and deciding the cases, impartial, and looking at the law in a proper way. All those kind of things are attributable to the name that we have given to the, and the respect we have given to the institution. So the institution is developed by the students. Of course, a little bit of role is done by the teachers, no doubt about it. We have to train them to the right direction, and the steps will have to be like parents. You have to initially hand holding a child who is walking. Yes, make them understand this is it. So we have to have that character has to be achieved. So we can 100% depend on the students only. If the students are useless, if they don't study, there may be some students who are not interested in studies, no doubt about it. But majority, if they are interested in their future, because they have to understand one more thing. This 5-year course, once you enter, like the Chakravyuha, there is no exit in between. At the end of it, you have to find a way out. If you don't go out, you will be perpetually in the Chakravyuha. You will end. That should not happen. And then they have to realize. We have to tell them, impress upon the students that after, even though it is BLLB, BBLLB, BCom LLB, BSc LLB, whatever it is, there is no BA degree given in between. There is no in between escape route. If you do 3 years and continue, you will have no benefit. You won't even get a certificate saying that yes, you have studied 3 years of law. Waste. That should not happen. They have to be very clear about it. Once you step in, be very, what they call, determined that yes, I will do this. I have to get a degree and I will achieve my goal. That goal should be fixed in the first year itself. We are gearing everything. We are making all arrangements, because what I am planning to do in this clinical is 100% clinical. We are also in the process of establishing a few clinics other than the normal. In most of the colleges, you will find a room where it is written legal aid clinic. Now we are going to have a clinic in a township, in a village, wherever it is convenient. We will start this clinic also. We are starting a mediation clinic with the support and collaboration of a professional body. In Bangalore, we have a professional body, and that body will be collaborating with us. And we are going to have a discussion tomorrow. Chairman is invited them to have a discussion with them. So we will be establishing that clinic also. Students will get an opportunity to see how actual legal cases are handled by professionals, and they will be trained. And we are planning to issue a certificate for those who clear some papers for that. Mediation is a compulsory paper now. By the Bar Council has insisted on mediation. We are going to train them to be mediators, certified mediators, so they can start mediation from day one. And the courts are also trying to give mediation much importance. Even in criminal cases, wherever it can be mediated, they send for mediation. It started from the Delhi High Court onwards. Delhi High Court was the first high court which started mediation in criminal law, in criminal cases. So I think all these opportunities will be given to the students.
It's very interesting to know from you, sir, that the very profound change in the law curriculum in India has been brought about largely by the students, because this curriculum is increasingly attracting bright, meritorious, and serious students. So that's one aspect that you have just presented, and the other aspect also is related to something I wanted to ask you. In fact, the NEP 2020 has given a lot of emphasis on two things. One is skill building, and second is multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary studies. So just now you've been talking about setting up a clinic and also introducing mediation techniques, and also bringing in senior professionals who will
Yes.
be judging and also gauging our students. So I would still further like to ask you, sir, that in keeping with the NEP 2020, what are the other things that you think would be feasible to do to improve the skill set of the students, and also bringing in that multidisciplinarity?
Yes. Yes. I'll tell you. Because we have integrated LLB courses. Now, what in many of the colleges and other universities, what they do is they teach sociology as sociology. Management subjects are managements only. Commerce is taught as commerce, and law is taught as law. Actual integration is not happening in many places. Now, in certain situations, you will find sociology, some connection is brought in. In political science, yes, you can find a lot of connections. And some expert teacher will integrate the sociology and political science to law. How this is relevant. Otherwise, the first question raised by the students is, why should I study this? Similarly, economics. And economics, of course, is the superstructure, and the law should support the economics structure. So that understanding of the relevance of learning the integrated subject is more important than learning the law, unless you have that foundation. Similarly, management subjects, similarly, commerce subjects. And there is nothing like teaching the general principles of management in a law school. What is the relevance? The first question, since we are thinking of critical thinking, the first question you can expect from a student is, why should I learn the subject? They should find an answer. Yes, this is why I have a reason for studying this. If you can do that, 50% of this learning process will be done. Second is, every aspect of your theoretical learning should be supported by practical application. I have seen a couple of students who have passed out of good colleges, and they could not even write a bail application to be submitted to a magistrate court. Now, our effort will be, even this smallest type of communication which is to be written will be trained. They learn the basic traits of writing letters in the schools. We will go into the next stage. Legally, whatever is requirement for a document, so we will be teaching them. And there will be, I am thinking of putting 2 hours of practical per subject. On papers, we'll have 2 practical hours. It will be equivalent to one credit that way. So this is the idea. If you don't give a practical input, is simply by sending them to a lawyer's office or asking them to sit in the court, they won't learn anything unless you understand what is happening there. If you don't get a feel of it, you will never be a successful lawyer. So I'm thinking of giving all necessary practical inputs into the legal curriculum here. We are the university. I always hold the view that the university should be doing research. We have to continuously research on how best we can improve. On a daily basis, I may say, today I find a mistake, I should correct it tomorrow. It should be given to the students. If you don't do it, it will be a kind of thing which will exist. Last year it was there, this year it is there, next year also it will be there. So the idea of the new economic educational policy is also that we have to give skills. So if you don't give skills to the lawyer, then where is the lawyer? A lawyer without skill is as good as a common man. That's what I mean. So we are supported by the government in imparting skills. We have to impart skills and practical ways of skills, writing skills, interacting skills, because communication. A person has to be attentive. If a client is coming and talking to you, you have to very meticulously listen to and note down what exactly is the point. Maybe searching for a needle in a haystack, but you have to do that. They should learn how to get the correct input. because a client will come and tell you a very lengthy story. That lengthy story has to be converted into 4 pages of petition. This is a skill which should be developed in the law school. Otherwise, it cannot be. Similarly, argumentative skills, client counseling skills, mediation skill, negotiating skills, all these skills may be there. Now, we find a lot of law school products are engaging into solicitors' activity only. They don't go to the court, they draft it, pakka drafting. And even the senior lawyers are depending on these people. You take it to so and they will draft it for you. That's it. In Delhi, in Bangalore also, we have a couple of such brilliant people, young people, passed out of law school, practiced or worked on other places 1 or 2 years, started this. So this is a fantastic kind of opportunity. You have opportunities, whether there is COVID or not. These solicitors' offices are not affected at all. They have continuous work. Now, courts, that is the only delay. Once the COVID is over, then only the courts will have a regular sitting, and it will start. So it is the basic idea is we are imparting the skills. If you since you have asked me in the connection with the new educational policy, we have to do everything to develop and meticulously uh, cast the students to be practicing or practice ready lawyers. That's what I think.
Again, very interesting discourse. And, as we have been engaging into this discussion, I was also keeping an eye on some questions being posted on the wall.
Yes.
And one interesting question has come, I can see from a girl or a lady participant. And that also gives me a hint that law traditionally has been a male dominated area. And what do you think is the importance of diversity and what opportunities the girl students have in the domain of law?
Sir, one important aspect which everyone should take into account is earlier there used to be hardly any lawyer, woman lawyer, hardly any judge, lady judges, and no one has gone to the Supreme Court till recently. Maybe in the 90s, you will find a couple of lady judges honoring the Supreme Court. Why? There is a change in the outlook of parents. There is an approach difference in the students because more lady students, girl students have started attending schools. They get good education, and they find that where are they to be sidelined? They are, I think, the first in the creation should be the woman, because uh, women are everywhere now. You cannot, segregate women saying that yes, you cannot practice. There might have been some instances of practical difficulties. I'll tell you why. These lawyers profession demands a lot of time in the office after the court hours. Maybe a person, when a lady gets married, then family, the child and all that, there may be a little bit of interruption. In the sense, evening at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, you cannot be in the office. So that might have affected the growth of ladies in coming up. Now that is out. That myth is gone. In most of the law schools, applicants are girl students. Second, in pass percentage also, if you look at it, most of the colleges, you'll produce more than 90% or 98% pass ensured in girls' cases. So, do you mean to say that they have to be sitting at home? No, they will come up. They have to come up. They have come up. So they will come up, because it's only a determination. The second thing is the support from the family. You have to see that a woman is also a part of the family. An equal status is to be enjoyed. Of course, initially we had to force it on people, but now generally people have started accepting that women are also equally competent. There was a case in the Supreme Court because one company said that the security job can be, the applicants have to be only men. One lady challenged it, saying that why can't I do the work? Supreme Court said you cannot discriminate, allow girls to apply, women also to apply. So we are in that kind of a scenario now. We have to understand women, men are all equally competent. That equality concept has to be understood by everyone.
Yeah, so and I am also aware that Presidency University is an equal opportunity and always encourages diversity among its students. So naturally, your words will encourage the girl students to apply more and more here. And now, I will move into a slightly different topic that a student who pursues a law degree in India and wants to also pursue a global career. So
Yes.
how would you map out or how would you advise such a person that who is having an aspiration to establish oneself in a global environment? How that person should go about the whole process?
So the opportunities are plenty, whether it is national, international, globally, anybody can grow now. There is no barriers or obstacles which we can perceive. If you have the will, the determination, things can happen. Because
Good.
we don't discriminate. We teach equally. We approach everyone equally. So what happens is they have to capture the opportunity and proceed. We will not say that since you are a girl, you cannot go for a moot court. No, we will send them. And that is another thing, sir. In most of the competitions, moot court competitions, you will find girls participants and finals. And this internationally reputed road scholarship and all that. Now women are getting it. Girl students are getting it. Earlier it used to be reserved only for men, or boys used to get it. Now this myth is totally gone, sir. So nobody should be inhibited by this kind of a feeling that women have no role, and they have the role now. And see the number of women judges in the Supreme Court. We have got so many. So one High Court judges also. We have many judges, many judges. So that way, and most of the what you call experts in certain fields, IPR lawyers, IPR, all those kind of people have been women in many cases. And nationally and internationally reputed, so many women lawyers are there, professional.
Right, sir. Now, again, coming back to where we started, the COVID-19 had an impact. But we all believe, the educationists are particularly believing that this impact is going to be a short-term one and going to be removed. Whereas, an education, a degree level education takes 3, 4, or 5 years, particularly for LLB program, it is 5
Yes,
years. So what is your advice to the students and parents that, should they take this COVID impact very seriously and think of only sticking to their hometown or their state, or they should look for the best institution and the best infrastructure and take this plunge, saying that, okay, I am talking about a 5-year program and not a 6-month program. So therefore, I will not confine myself to my hometown or my home state, and let me look for an opportunity where I get the best infrastructure, curriculum, the teaching faculty, and the opportunity. So what is your advice to this group of
I think they have to take the opportunity to settle with a reputed institution where the infrastructural support is there, managerial support is there, and health is taken care of. So once the government permits us to open, we will be the first to open. I think in the entire country, we are ready to open, because we have to only see that the government gives us permission. We will say that you take the normal time to reach, we will receive them. And they have to take that opportunity. Maybe another thing, because we have lost a couple of good months where the education could have been there. So at least for 1 or 2 years, we have to adjust the breaks and holidays and all that, so that the students will not lose their valuable years. That 5 year will be, as far as possible, we will do it within 5 years only. My calculation is that we should all aim for that. Maybe a summer vacation or something like that can be reduced. Internship can be organized on a weekly basis. So that can be managed. Like we can plan it in a very nice way. I have some contacts, and we have contacted in the Bangalore bar and all that. So the lawyers are willing to give them the necessary inputs on Saturdays, or they can go on Sundays if they don't have any problem. Most of the lawyers' offices will work in the afternoon on Sundays. Saturday they will work. So Saturday, Friday, Sunday, and all that, we can somehow manage it, because internship is another compulsory component of our education, legal education particularly, because exposing them to the practical realities. We are also starting this clinics, so they will get the exposure there. So we can somehow compress certain things. Sometimes we may have to adjust it. I think we will not be a party to lose academic years for the students. That is very valuable for the student.
That's very good to know, sir. And we are coming to the last phase of this webinar. I'm sure that the audience have been immensely benefited, with the inputs that came from you. I will just quickly summarize. We felt, particularly from the inputs that you have given, that Presidency University is all set to welcome students as soon as this impact of the pandemic is not fully removed, or at least reduced, and the government allows the students to come to the campus. But till that time, you are fully geared to offer courses online. Your faculties are ready to engage the students in various, discussion forums, debates, of course, online classes, assessments, etc. And obviously, we have discussed in between the tremendous potential an LLB program that offers to today's bright and young minds, both nationally as well as internationally. And you are also preparing yourselves to engage professionals from the industry, if I call law as an industry, which most people do. And so professionals will be coming and interacting with your students, will be enriching them, will also make them think critically. So that's a wonderful news for the student and the parent community. And I'm sure that the Presidency University is just waiting to welcome them and offer them a great career. Thank you very much, sir. It was a pleasure having you in this webinar. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all those who have attended the webinar and for organizing this. Big thanks to the organizers, College Duniya.
Yeah, on my behalf also, I thank College Duniya for creating this platform for us. And I thank all the participants and all of us together, Professor Dr. Rajan Varghese and myself, Supriyo Goharai. We wish you a great career ahead. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll be leaving now.
आ जाओ आ जाओ आ जाओ। क्या टाइमिंग है भाई साहब आपकी, गजब। अभी अभी निकले प्रेजेंटर्स।